Welcome back, everybody, to the Adult Table, the only show where everything is on the table, every topic you could imagine, and nothing is left off. I, of course, am your main host, or just host, I should say, and brought to you always by, I only say that due to production reasons, but here is the heart and the soul, everybody, of what makes the Adult Table truly special. The great and powerful, the 500-pound bench-pressing vanilla gorilla himself, the one, the only, Mr. Joey Fat!
I feel like I need to come down out of the rafters with the bat costume like the Undertaker did that one time.
Yeah, but just don't pull an Owen Hart.
Yeah, no, we can't be no, none of that. Likely, we won't. I won't have my Canadian friends do the rigging. I'll have some Americans do it.
And that's why you adhere to a classic American gimmick, and don't go back to your roots as the Blue Blazer. Because guess what happens?
Ooh.
No, I love Owen Hart. Amazing person and wrestler. That's terrible what happened to him.
It really was, especially because it happened live, during a show. You're like, ooh.
I was watching that as it happened, and it was so awkward.
Yeah, right? It's so anyway, look over here, it's Mankind.
No, it was a match with the Godfather, and I forget who his opponent was, but I remember the Godfather was in the next match, and hearing accounts of the wrestlers, in gorilla position and, right behind this main stage, behind the curtain, then Owen being carted off on a gurney, he was already dead.
Right.
And they kind of are, at least Vince knew, or was at least aware that he's at least really fucked up. And just saying, get out there, do your job.
The show must go on, damn it.
It is a circus.
I mean, unfortunately, it's a sad part of our of what we do, as a society, I guess. But it's a lot like the Damar Hamlin situation. Guy almost dies on the field.
Yep.
And nobody's ever expecting that. You know what I mean? But I don't know. Sometimes shit just happens, and you gotta kind of push through it. And I mean, obviously the NFL didn't push through it. They were like, nope, fuck that. Vince is obviously a lot more heartless than Roger Goodell, which that's saying something. But
I mean, even high school and college, even Pee-wee football deals with that stuff. Dehydration, especially during training camps.
Yep.
It's definitely a thing.
It is,
just
unfortunately.
At the pro level. Mm-hmm.
Right. Unfortunately, at high school level, I feel like at those lower levels, it's actually worse. But neither here nor there.
Right.
But it was very, very sad. It was very sad, unfortunate. What I feel like was very avoidable accident too. Because every time you hear you see one of those situations where somebody's performing a stunt and it goes wrong. Even the Alec Baldwin thing, right? When you who the fuck put an actual bullet in that gun? I know it wasn't. I mean, I know it wasn't Alec Baldwin.
Right.
I'd be surprised if he even knew how to fucking load a revolver. You know what I mean?
It would come down to the
super
prop,
simple, but
the prop master.
Yeah. So
specifically because that was an old antique gun. It was era period appropriate.
Period correct. Yep.
I don't know how it's. I mean, you could kind of compare it to Brandon Lee being shot and killed, but that was a blank that the blank shell itself didn't discharge after the first shot, and so therefore there was that essentially not a complete slug, but
it was a projectile was waiting to be projected.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that to me is more of a true accident. This seems like a complete that was a live round. Why
was there a live round? Why was there a live round mixed in with the blanks? Which I mean, obviously nobody could really tell unless they scrupulously looked at every bullet before they put it in. But
that's the responsibility of whoever brought the guns there.
Right,
in
exactly.
charge of that.
So it's Alec Baldwin, as much of a diabolical asshole as he might be.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of things I can shit on Alec Baldwin about. That's not one of them. I'd rather shit on his wife for her fake Spanish accent and pretending to be like Spanish, even though she's like straight from fucking like mid America.
It's also tiresome, isn't it? Like,
I know. It's like, Jesus Christ, like, of all the things we can sit here and shit on them for, like, can we find something different, please? Like, but anyway, I digest. But yeah, the Owen Hart thing was like, that's one of those, like, it's just like, damn, man. And like, those guys get paid, like, I'm not gonna say an insane amount of money, but they get paid money to basically be their own stuntmen. You know what I mean? Like, Tom Cruise ain't doing that. The Rock ain't doing that.
And back then, Tom Cruise is kind of doing some of it.
The Rock might be a bad. Yeah, I might just give you like the two worst examples that I could have. Let's see. Who's a total bitch? Matt Damon ain't doing that.
Right.
You know, Ben Affleck. Those guys ain't doing their own.
I'm pretty sure The Rock isn't doing his own stunts at this point. He's too.
No, not anymore. But when he was a wrestler, he was.
Well,
that's why it's a bad example. It's like, oh, he did his own stunts for 2 decades, bro.
Yeah, he absolutely did, without question. All those people do. It's scripted, but it's not guaranteed that everything goes right. And they're doing things that most people can't do. And they don't have a regular season like normal sports do.
No, they're just 365.
They're independent contractors. Most of them pay their own health insurance. Only the top tier people don't.
Right.
It's brutal.
It is a brutal business. It is a very brutal business. I would not advise anybody get into it. Like, I have a couple of friends that have done it at like lower levels, and one of my friends, obviously, like, he got up to like. It was like an ECW or whatever. Like, he was in the WWE. He did have a WWE contract for a second, but he never made it like big. But like, he did pretty well, and like, he got pretty high up, all things considered. Like, people like I wore one of his T-shirts out to like Texas Roadhouse one night, and somebody was like, "Oh, dude, like, are you a fan of his?" And I'm like, "Yeah, a little bit. Why?" And they're like, "Oh, I love him. He's fucking awesome." This and that. I'm like, oh, so you're a pretty hardcore wrestling fan then, because if you know what this shirt is, like, you got to know, like, you're like paying attention to like all the shit, like, and it was my buddy Chris that I played football with at Bridgewater, and like I always buy his merch and shit like that, you know what I mean, just to support him. And I wore it out one day, and so he's like, "Oh yeah, I love Dijak. He's fucking awesome." And I'm like, "How the fuck do you know who he is?" I thought that, like, and then you go on like his Twitter, his Instagram, and he's got like tens of thousands of followers. Like, I'm like, oh, well, yeah, that makes sense. Like, never mind. I guess I can see that now. But like, for somebody to recognize his shirt at Texas Roadhouse in Dartmouth, I was like, whoa, dude. Like,
yeah, well, that makes sense because he's from around here, and I'm about to name drop some people because they're friends of mine. But yeah, local wrestler and legend Teddy Goods, Ted Bolduc, owner of Kojo's Toy World. Yep. Amazing independent career. He was at WrestleMania last year. He's been featured on AEW, WWE, in multiple different roles in matches.
I feel like I've seen him at the gym several times over the course.
You probably have.
Over the course. Like, I think he used to go to Howland Place once in a while back in the day.
I wouldn't think that would be out of the question. And then Oni Lorcan, formerly Biff Busick, who was a doorman also at Hibernia back in the day. And he went on to be in NXT as Oni Lorcan. Won the tag team titles with Birch.
Okay.
And that was actually a good storyline because they had a rivalry. They were just two fucking brawlers, just beating the shit out of each other. They had a great singles rivalry, and then they came together as a tag team, and they were fucking dynamite.
So usually the way it goes, right?
He had his career, and then there's the guy that you know, Dijak.
Yep.
Who, played football at Worcester, right?
He played football with me at Bridgewater.
Oh no shit! Okay.
He was from Lunenburg, out west towards like Leominster, like that area.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And he initially went to UMass Amherst, then he transferred to Bridgewater.
Okay.
And he played there, and he was a tremendous athlete. I mean, I was not shocked to find out that that's the career that he chose, like kind of post.
And he was great. He was especially great in NXT because they had a good eye for what he was doing back then.
Yes.
Just let him do his thing. Granted, he needed more character work, but that's what NXT is for.
Right.
Then they
he was trying to find his way, you know, and
as a character, but in ring ability,
like
phenomenal for a guy that size. Because what is he, like 6'6", 6'7"?
He was 6'5", 6'6". I don't remember what they had him listed at, but like he was definitely tall. I'm 6'3". He was definitely taller than me.
Yep.
And he was a stud basketball player too.
And he can do flips.
And he was a solid 260, 270. Like,
yeah,
he was a big athletic dude.
He was doing flips over the top rope out of the ring and landing on his feet. In NXT, at least. I don't think they let him showcase that enough on the main card. Because they put him in with a horrible gimmick. It was basically WWE's answer to Antifa.
Right.
They put him in this group. They gave him the name T-Bar, which was gay.
And right, I remember that. Yeah, I remember actually Pat McAfee commented on that on his show one time. And he was like, I don't know, man. T-Bar, like, I don't know if that's going to cut it, bro.
Pretty lame. And McAfee was an advocate for him when he was doing commentary in NXT. When he was just Djokovic or Dijakovic.
Yeah, Dijakovic or whatever was his name. Yeah, he changed his name a couple of times. And I think because like his last name is actually Dijak. Like his name's Chris Dijak. Mm-hmm. And I have the figure, his action figure on my wall.
Oh, no shit.
In my studio up here. And it's Dijakovic. Or whatever. I forget how you say it. I think that's how it was pronounced, Dijakovic. And he was like, he was trying to be like a Russian mobster or something. Like, I don't know. Like they were messing with his character. And like, I mean, that happens a lot in wrestling. Guys like will come in and there'll be a certain thing, and they'll think this is going to work, and that doesn't really, hit. And then they're going to like change their gimmick a little bit. Like you go back and watch like the early days of The Rock when he was like, when he was what was he, Rocky something. And he was like. Yeah, and he was like, he had like the tassels on his arms, and he was like,
everybody hated him.
Yeah, no one liked him. And then he became The Rock, and he put on like, just like, a fucking a banana hammock and sunglasses, and everybody was like, and elbow knee pads. Everybody was like, yeah, this guy rules.
Yeah, fanny pack, and just told everyone to go fuck themselves. Basically doing what Stone Cold was already doing, but in a different way.
But in his own way, he kind of just took it and ran with it,
which totally worked. Obviously, now he's.
It was the Attitude Era, so it took off.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Dijak has. I mean, I don't know where he's going to end up now. I know he's not in the WWE anymore, and he's off.
He got released.
But I don't think his. I think his future is still. I think there's still big things waiting for him.
Oh, I hope so. I'd like to see him go anywhere else. Like, I'm always supportive of anybody, whether I know them or not, going to another company if it makes the most sense for them. Because the business is fucking brutal.
It really is, man. And it whoops your body up. And there's, like you said, it's 365 days. There's no time off. Like, there is no season. It's just you exist, and this is what you do. And if you're going to try to make it big, you better be ready to work 365 days a year, because that might be what it takes. And it's a grind, man. I mean, we had him on my on Roll and C1 years ago when he was still, I believe, right before he got signed to NXT. And he did us a solid, came on, gave us a good like half-hour interview, and kind of told us like the ins and outs of behind the scenes a little bit, and what he was doing and how he was doing it, and it was really interesting. And then when he got to WWE, obviously they control everything, so we couldn't get him back on. I should reach out to him and see if we can get him back on now that he's independent again, but and follow up with him almost 10 years later to see where what changed. And but no, he's a really good dude. And I remember going up against him, lining up against him in football practice, and me having never played a down football in my life. And I get to Bridgewater and I just walk on, and then here's a kid who was playing D1 2 years ago, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, this will be fun. And he beat the brakes off me pretty much all of August and September, and then finally by the end of September and October, I started figuring it out a little bit, and I was able to hold my own, if you will. And it was good. It was fun. But he's a tremendous guy, tremendous athlete, and I hope he does. I hope he continues with it, because I really feel I was digging his character at the end, like towards the end of his WWE contract, where he was like, just doing all these promo cuts and all this stuff. And he had the glasses, and he was just basically telling everybody to go fuck themselves. And
well, they finally let him kind of do his own thing again.
Yeah.
But by the time that was happening, they have so many people on roster. A lot of people get lost in the mix, whether they're a big name acquisition or not. Maybe they get lost in the fold. It happens in AEW, it happens in TNA, it happens even in indie promotions. People get lost in the mix. And unfortunately, they couldn't figure out exactly what to do with him at the time.
Right, and it's like, and you have too many guys that are trying to be the same guy, and it's like, all right, well, which one's the best of these type of characters? And yeah, I get it.
There's only so much TV time. And
right, exactly. There's only so much airtime that to go around, and you can't have the guys all looking and acting the same. That's boring.
Yeah, not to say he was the same or doing anything the same. It's just apparently he didn't do enough to stand out to creative and the writing team enough to be like, okay, we can work with this and make it more interesting, or we like what he's doing already. Let's just nurture that. It's a wild business.
It really is, because it's like you're acting, but you don't know what your audience is, or you don't know what your audience likes. You know what I mean? Like, so you're trying to play a character, and you're like, hope this works. Like, hope this is for the part I'm auditioning for. You know what I mean? It's like going in and like you're auditioning for Rambo, and you go in as Peter Pan. It's like, well, that doesn't work. Like,
wrestling,
that ain't gonna cut it. Next.
Professional wrestling at its purest is carny shit. It literally is.
Small hands smell like cabbage.
Smell like cabbage. Carny folk.
I get a piece of the connies every year at the feast now.
I just walk right past them.
I know. I stop and play one of their stupid games and then bitch out of ripping me off.
Cow racing, cow chasing.
Yeah. 3 years ago we went there, 2 years ago, and I was like, it was that game like you pop the balloons with the darts.
Yeah, of course.
And I basically tell the guy, I'm like, listen, dude, I'm gonna pop every balloon on this thing without missing. Like, I don't really want to waste my time. I'm not gonna make you blow up all these balloons. I just want that giant Pikachu.
I'm already paying you. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just gonna give you money, and you're gonna give me the Pikachu. And he's
like $10?
I'm like, I know it's I know it probably costs you like fucking $10 to put that thing up there. I'll give you 40, and let's just call it a day. He's like, no, man, let's play the game. Like, who cares? Like, whatever. Like, yeah, I'll give you the prize. Like, it's no big deal. Like, this and that. I'm like, all right. So I pay $40, right? And I throw the darts. I pop all the balloons. And he goes, all right, man, you can have anything from this thing down. And I'm like, no, I want the big one. And he's like, oh no, you're gonna pay spend way more than $40. I'm like, no, like we had a deal, remember? And he's like, yeah, that's not how this works. And I was like, motherfucker.
Yeah, that's not how this works.
I was like, I'm gonna come over to this fucking table and fucking take the shit. I ended up like ripping like a bigger thing off the thing and taking it and being like, stop me, motherfucker, go ahead. Like, go ahead, come get me. And I was on one, dude. Like, I'm yelling at everybody. I'm like, don't play the carnival games. Carnies are frauds. And they're like, and there's one guy like in the carnival who's like, yeah, there was shit. What do you think carnival games are? I'm like, shut the fuck up with your small hands smelling like cabbage ass. And they're like, fuck you. And I'm like, kiss my dick. I'm just yelling at everybody who will listen. I'm making such a scene on the way out of the feast. I was hammered that night too. Like, I mean, that was my once in a decade drunk night that I get. Once every 10 years, I get like really drunk.
Just so happened at the feast. You're lucky you didn't get taken underneath the stage.
Yeah. Well, it was pretty bad, but like, it was funny. But I'm just yelling at everybody. I'm like, carnies are for their games, and everyone's like, what the fuck? And I'm like, fuck them. And I'm like flipping off the carnies and telling everybody like, don't play, don't give them money. They rip you off. And like all the carnies are getting mad at me. And swear to God, they were all like forming a little, so they all had their like little chains and bats and shit. Like, we're gonna get this motherfucker.
Looking like a low rent version of one of the gangs from the Warriors.
Yeah, exactly. I was just gonna say it looked
like
carnies. Like midget warriors. Like, yeah, come out and play. And I'm like, what are you gonna do? Fucking throw a fucking milk jug at me? Fuck you. Like, I was so fucking mad because I only wanted was the fucking Pikachu. I paid the guy $40.
You offered cash money for it. Just be like, hey, I know how this works.
Yep.
Here's $40. I know this thing cost you like $5.
It's probably left over from like 10 years ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I got like black mold growing on the
It's
inside.
been
Like,
peed on several times.
yeah, like you probably let your dog hump it, or you do. I don't know, like whatever. I'm not judging, but whatever you're into.
Weird shit
You know?
happens.
So I'm like, fuck you, and I got super fucking pissed. And obviously, me being like as drunk as I was on the way out was not helping anything. And I'm with my brother, and like my brother-in-law, my sister-in-law, my other sister-in-law, my brother's wife, and my wife. And I'm just like, just relentless, like nonstop. I'm like, oh no. I'm like, the next day, so my brother-in-law had to remind me of some of the things that got said that night, and I was like, I said what?
Oh shit.
And he's like, yeah. I was like, nice. I was like, got away with it. Didn't get stabbed. Guess I'm doing all right.
Oh, wait, I said that? Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
That does sound like something I would say.
I was like walking around like every kid I saw with like a broccoli haircut. I was like, fuck you Patrick Mahomes looking motherfucker. Like just a random kids like walking around. They're like, what, dude?
I don't even like Mahomes. Yeah, well, you shouldn't have that haircut, faggot.
That actually one kid did say that. He's like, I don't even like Mahomes. I was like, why do you get that faggot ass haircut? Oh yeah, it was a good
damn
night.
it! Cheers to that.
Yeah, it was funny. It was a fun night. And then I like was at the urinal, like in the bathroom, and I look at my brother-in-law. I look at the kid next to me, and I was like, I look at the kid next to me, and it was some complete stranger. I was like, you looking at my dick, bro? And he's like, what? And I'm like, I look at my brother-in-law. I was like, yo, Mark, I think this kid likes my dick. And I was like, you like it? I was like, nice, right? Like big, but not too big. And then he was like, what the fuck? And like just bails out of the bathroom. So the next morning, we're on our way to the golf course, and Mark's like, do you remember telling that kid, like, asking that kid if you liked your dick? And I was like, oh, shit, yeah, now I do. That was funny. He's like, that poor kid was terrified, dude. He just bolted. He's like, who the fuck is this guy asking me to lick his dick and why? Like, I don't know. Kid was probably like, I don't know where the fuck this is going, but I'm not sticking around to find out.
Yeah, no, why would they? That's fucking ridiculous.
Oh, so funny, dude. I was because I had like 6 or 7 margaritas before we left the house, and then we went down to feast. And one of my brother's buddies' moms was working one of the wine booths, and she was like, "Just give me like, just fold up the tickets. Give me whatever you want. You know, 1, 2, 3, whatever. Just fold them up so nobody can see, and I'll just give you whatever you want." I'm like, okay. So I'm just giving her like 2 tickets at a time for large wines, like, and I'm just. I mean, like I was two-stepped around that place that night. Like, it was bad. Like,
if you're not double fisting at the feast, are you even at the feast?
No. But like normally I can double fist at the feast and be fine, like and maintain a level of composure. But like I said, this was my once in a decade drunk. Like I remember the last time I got that drunk was at my fantasy football draft, and we went to Inter Bay afterwards. And I tried to do karaoke, and I was just like. The music started. I was like, and it started like the lyrics are going. I'm just like, fuck this. And I just threw the mic on the ground and walked out. And and then ended up fucking passing out in the parking lot next to my buddy's car. Just laid down in the parking lot of Inter Bay. I was like, yeah, this looks like a good spot.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. But that was like, but I don't drink to get drunk. You know what I mean? Like I drink to maintain a nice buzz and enjoy myself. But like. I don't ever like try to get that drunk. I'm not like let's do shots until I can't feel feelings anymore. And I'm like, nope, that doesn't sound like fun. That actually sounds awful. And so like when I do get that drunk, it's usually by mistake, but the results are usually hilarious. My wife wasn't very amused, but my brother-in-law was. The carnies and my wife were probably my 2 biggest enemies that night. My wife only because she had to drive home and she didn't want to. She's like, fuck off. You made me come to the feast and I couldn't drink because you were fucking hammered. So I had to stop drinking, and that fucking sucks for me.
And you talk shit about all the carnies, and they didn't help us at all after you passed out.
No, I made it. I didn't pass out. I made it. I stayed on my own 2 feet that night. That was fun. That was a fun one.
Like to remember, or in this case, partially remember.
Hanging out the window going down like Bellevue Ave, just like yelling at random people on the sidewalks, like, don't play the carnival games, they're frauds. And everybody sober is probably like, yeah, no shit, dude. Like, thanks for the heads up, loser. Like, and I'm like, fuck those guys. That was funny. It was a good time.
Oh yeah, I stole me and my old roommate from college who came down to visit for the feast. His first time being there. he stole like a giant stuffed alligator from one of the Carney
Good.
booths.
Good.
And then I took like a big Corona banner off of the liquor store that's there on the Ave.
Oh, yeah.
Leading right there.
Yep.
But yeah, and then my former roommate Zach, the one who came to visit me from Jersey, he fucking passed out in Paul's Jeep, and we had to carry him into Paul's parents' house.
Nice.
And put him on like a little fold-out futon thing, and just like, there you go. And then we went into the basement and continued to drink.
Right. You're like, we'll leave the amateur on the futon.
He's inside. He's fine. He's accounted for.
Yeah. We got him. Everybody's happy and healthy.
Yeah, he's going to get back to his car in the morning. He's just going to sleep this off.
Yep.
But the rest of us who are still capable of being awake right now are going to continue.
Yeah. The rest of us whose first time this isn't at the feast.
Yes. Granted, he could drink. It's just he had never been to the feast.
The feast is a different animal, bro. Like I don't. People don't understand when I tell them that. They're like, oh, I don't give a fuck. I go down there and fucking drink my ass off. I'm like, you say that. I'm like, you say that until you start drinking there, and I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is about the wine.
Back when everything was cheaper too, and like the wine, I believe, was enriched.
It had to have been something, dude. Like there's something about the wine at the feast that just hits different. Like you could buy 10 bottles of Madeira wine and drink them at your house and not get nearly as buzzed as you will off 2 cups.
Because the long-standing rumor is they put like straight up like moonshine in it. Like the stuff that they import directly for the feast or have made for it.
Listen. I'm not ruling anything out because it is just a different animal, dude. You don't people who've never gone don't know. People who are veterans of the feast know. They're like, oh, you want some wine? It's like, whoa, bro, chill. It's only 3 o'clock. we got a long way to go, bud.
And it's Sunday. The parade is coming through soon.
Yeah. Well, Sunday's my favorite day. I love going like early Sunday when it's not too packed, and get there and you can actually walk, in the feast grounds and not like
you have space.
Not get knocked into every 30 seconds.
Yep, that's when I do my grilling. That's the Sunday tradition there.
Yeah, same. Yeah,
every other time I'm there during the weekend that it happens, it's at night, and it's to just randomly run into people that I know and then see whatever bands they're playing.
Yeah, usually I'll go either like Thursday. I'll go usually Saturday night for sure. Or either Friday or Saturday, or sometimes Thursday, Saturday, depending on what days I have off and who's playing, and me and the wife will just kind of gauge it, like how we feel. Like, want to go down that night? Like, nah, I'm good. I'm like, okay.
Sure.
And usually we have family up that week too. Like my brother and sister-in-law come up and stay with us for the week. So it depends what they want to do too. Like we were gonna go tomorrow because they're up here, so all their friends are They're like, oh, well, our friends are going tomorrow, so we're going to go tomorrow. Okay, fine. We'll skip it tonight. No big deal. But I was pretty into it for a couple of years where I was all 4 days kind of guy.
Same. That lasted more than a couple of years for me, but yes.
It's a good time. But it's like there's only so many Caserla sandwiches and wine I can drink before you're like, okay. Enough is enough. Like we gotta do something else.
If you haven't had your fill by the 4 days that it lasts, regardless of how long you go for at this point in our lives, then I don't know.
I mean, there was one year I would go like right when it opened, and stay for a couple hours and then leave, go home, like chill, like whatever, and then come back at night. And I was like, God damn, dude! I'm like, this is getting kind of fucking nutty.
I would sometimes go earlier in the day, like when I got out of work, just to get the bracelet ahead of time, and then come back, and then like probably get like a cazuela sandwich and maybe a melisada, and then come back later in the night, so I don't have to wait in line for the bracelet.
Yeah,
that's when they started scanning your IDs, though.
Right, when you gotta go in. But I mean, even this year, it was pretty quick. Every time I went in.
Well, if you know the right ways to go in and out, then yes.
Right. Yeah. True.
And I'm not going to reveal what street I take.
No, the little secret squirrel entrances.
Although a lot of people already know about it, but that's why I don't want to say.
Right. We don't need more knowing about it.
Exactly. It was already long the first night I went this past year.
Yeah. It's just, I mean, a lot of it's time.
Shit. Lost Joey. Shit, lost you there for a second. Got you back.
Okay, there we go. All right. I was like, wait a minute. What the fuck is going on here? But anyway, yeah. Feast is a good time. Can't wait.
So we're already like half an hour into this. So you said you wanted to bring up some music stuff.
Yeah. So
go ahead.
Just wicked, like a really quick funny story. Like, so I follow this Facebook page, right? And it posts like random Billboard charts from whatever day it is from a random year. So like today, like it's like March 10th, like 2001. And it's like, here's the modern rock chart Billboard Top 40.
Yep. And it's been established that you remember these things.
Yes. So true. I actually didn't really think of that part of it, but yeah, you're right. So I got one the other day, and it was March like 5th, like whatever, it was a couple days ago, of 2002. So it was my end of my junior year of high school. And I'm like kind of like scrolling down the list, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm like, I remember all these songs. Like some of these are pretty good. I'm like, these songs suck though. Like a lot of these songs sucked. And I'm like, it's like Edema, Alien Ant Farm, fucking Nickelback, Creed's on there, Stained, like, like basically like everything HJY was playing at the time.
That was new at the time too.
This is all brandy new.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna make a playlist. I'm just gonna take every song off of this chart and put it on a playlist and listen to it. So it's like, it's like Jimmy Eat World. You're like, that
song's gay.
You're like, yeah, this song's gay as fuck. But you know what? It reminds me of like driving around in my '89 Honda Accord with my buddy Ryan, and going to the paintball shop, like, because I was working at the paintball shop at that point, and like, I'm like, oh yeah, just kind of like, they say like music is like one of the biggest triggers for like memories.
That
like
and like smell.
Music and smells are like will like instantly like trigger a memory for you. And so I was like, oh fuck it, I'll make this playlist, right? And I'll just listen to it and just see where it takes me memory wise. You know what I mean? And so I'm going through and I'm adding all these songs on Spotify, like on my phone. I'm just like clicking through, like, okay, this is how you remind me, Nickelback, okay, and like all this stuff, and I'm like, fucking, and then I go to add, I forget what song, it was a Nickelback song, and it's like, oh, do you want to add this to a different playlist? And I was like, wait, I already have this on a playlist. I'm like, what the fuck? And I look at. And I'm like, yeah, why? First of all, I look at the playlist, and the playlist that I made was titled my wife's boyfriend's son doesn't respect me. And I just kind of like cackle out loud. And then I'm like, yeah, I'll just add it to this March 2002 playlist. Thank you. Like, just keep it coming. And as I keep going, Spotify is like suggesting playlists based on what I'm searching.
Yep, because it's all algorithm based.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so the number one like pre-made playlist that it suggested for me,
it was all butt rock.
Dude, it was titled Divorce Dad Rock. And I was just like, ooh, that's wicked fucking true, dude. Like,
you're like, shit. Like, everything I did just like it falls into that category. This is not wrong.
Every single song was just like, I'm like, oh man, I'm like, yep, every guy I know that's my age that's divorced or a little older and divorced is definitely like, these are all the songs on their playlist, because like this was like the new edgy shit when they were like 30, 35, and they were like, yeah man, like, shit was cool. And now it's like 20 years later and they're like in their 50s and they're like, yeah man, it reminds me of better times, bro, like
just before my midlife crisis and shit.
Yeah, exactly, just before I bought that bike and my wife divorced me.
I was about to say just before I bought that Corvette and
yeah.
went to, but yeah, same fucking thing,
same shit. But like, I was like, but they kept pushing, like, and I'm like, I want to go find, like, I'm gonna go find that divorced dad rock playlist and just see like what else is on it, because it's like, it's definitely like listened to by like those guys that like wear like the blue, like the Punisher skull with the blue line on it, t-shirts, or have that sticker on their like Ford F-150, but they do it unironically, and you're like, oh, like I don't know if you know, but that's pretty fucking gay, dude.
It's a bad look for anybody that's pro, 2A and, or considers themselves conservative in any way.
Well, they always they post that meme of like, it's like the skeleton on the chopper, and it's like, I'm really soft and kind, but if you cross me, you'll know why I carry my father's name. And it's like, what? It's like, I'm sorry, is that like that's what you're going with today? It's like you woke up this morning and were like, I'm gonna start the day with this meme, and I'm like, ooh, it's a skeleton in a Grim Reaper outfit, and it's telling everybody how soft and kind I am, but if you cross me, I'll kill you.
Ooh, you better watch out. And also, I have the T-shirt of it, which which I bought from some sketchy, page off of Facebook, and also my credit card information
Spencer's gifts
been compromised. Yeah, which he could have went to the T-shirt kiosk making thing in the mall and had the Indian people make it for him there.
Dude, it's so bad. Like it's like inside of me there are two wolves. And you're like, oh god, here we go.
Yeah, and they're both gay.
and they're both retarded.
Yeah, they're both gay and retarded.
Oh man, like it's just like, god damn it, dude. I was like, but I laughed so fucking hard when it like kept because like every time I added a song, it would suggest that playlist. Like it's like, hey man, see what you're doing. I can save you a bunch of time right now. Like just click this one. I promise you, it's got everything. Oh my god!
It's got thrills. It's got chills. It's got spills. It's got gay sex. Apparently,
it's like, trust me, dude. It's got all the Creed, Nickelback, and Stained you could possibly want. Like
more than any reasonable human being can tolerate. It's
like, do you like Down with the Sickness? Because boy, did we got the playlist for you.
Yeah. Are you down with the sickness? Well, you're about to be down with the thickness of this dick down your throat. Every goddamn minute with the same bullshit. We're 94 HJY.
Yeah. and we're gonna sprinkle in a little AC/DC big balls. Just to keep it light.
Well, and every other AC/DC song by Bon Scott, and then the other handful that they played with Brian Johnson, Johnson, and then that's it. And shitload of Led Zeppelin. They used to have mandatory Metallica Mondays.
Yep.
Sometimes they would do deep cuts on there of theirs, but
every once in a while you get one.
HJY is just another terrestrial radio station. They're now irrelevant.
Right. They've been made irrelevant by, technology, which is fine. Yes. But every once in a while I get into like a car, like, like for whatever reason, like, or like sometimes like I'll just throw on the radio, like just to see, because I'm like, oh, let me put on the radio and see like what's new. Because like, I don't know new music. Like unless like I directly follow a band, like I don't know if they come out with a new album. So like, oh, let me throw on the fucking HJY, right? And I throw it on, and it's just like, hey, you're crazy bitch. I'm like, oh my god, we're still playing this. I'm like, all right, never mind, I'm out. See you later, dude.
Yeah, I didn't need to see that.
Yeah, it's like, thanks, just ruined my day, faggot. Like, god damn it.
Jesus Christ, yeah, we don't need any of that.
But no, it was funny because like my wife's boyfriend's son won't respect me playlist my brother-in-law made when we were in Florida a couple years ago, and it's got some pretty good bangers on it, dude. Not gonna lie, it's got a ton of Godsmack. And
keep away from me.
Yeah. Well, like that even shittier one where it's like, what's that song? Like my whiskey hangover, like, oh, pissing in the wind. And you're like, oh god, this is horrible.
Dude, that band sucked back then. And they're even worse now because Sully apparently can't do like the guttural like metal. He was never a metal singer, but
No.
he can't do the anymore.
Yeah, if he can't do that, then what the fuck's the point?
Well, now he just sings more cleanly, and he doesn't have a bad, clean-sounding vocal voice, but it doesn't sound like them, and them, when they sounded like in their heyday, also wasn't good. So
Also that. Like, listen, don't get me wrong, they had a couple good bangers. Through the years. They did. They had their first album was pretty good.
Years.
Yeah. But it's like, all right, so I got Godsmack, Drowning Pool, Disturbed, Avenged Sevenfold, Nickelback. Oh, Hoobastank. Can't forget them.
No.
Creed, Fallout Boy.
Wait, do you have the Reason on there by them?
Yeah, exactly.
That's not a lifting or punch. That's a fucking My Vagina is Bleeding song. What do you...
Yeah, that's a My Wife's Boyfriend's Son Won't Respect Me song. Then we got we had some Three Doors Down on there. Trap, Shine Down, little Papa Roach.
At least the singer of Shine Down, that guy's legit.
Yeah, I guess they were at the race on Sunday.
That makes sense. Yeah, they're Florida boys.
Yeah, they were a race. They said they gave the command to start your engines the other day, which is kind of funny. And they were like, check it out, Shine Down. But it wasn't the NASCAR race. It was like the Xfinity race. It was like the lower level race. And I was like, oh, wow, okay.
Oh, they're about to get beaten by the Harlem Globetrotters on lawnmowers.
It's like, weren't they the guys that sang that song, the Staring Down the Barrel of a 45?
Yep.
That was them, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they fucking suck.
Well, at the same time that release, they did that amazing cover of Simple Man, which is very well done.
It's actually better than the original.
I would go far as in to say that as much, yes.
But still, if there was ever a song I could probably never hear again, it'd be fine.
Oh,
it'd be that and Back in Black.
Just because of how often we've heard it. As much as same can be said about Zeppelin at this point for me because of H.A.Y.
Yeah, H.A.Y. ruined a lot of bands for me.
Just too much, and I already listened to too much of it as it was.
Right.
But that's all that they play.
AC/DC, Zeppelin. You're like, okay, cool.
The Stones, some Pink Floyd here and there.
I could never hear another Stones song.
Same.
I'd be completely fine with it.
I don't care about them. I don't care about the Beatles.
Same. Yeah, Beatles never care about. Still don't. Don't really understand the hype behind them either. The music is I feel like fucking retarded fifth graders can write better music, but
if it wasn't them, somebody else wasn't gonna write those exact songs, obviously, but something very goddamn similar. We would have had the same cultural impact. It just would have been somebody else.
Yeah, it's somebody different, and we'd be equally as annoyed with them right now too.
Yeah, well, I mean, there were plenty of contemporaries of the Stones and the Beatles that I like more than them, and they just didn't get as much press.
Right, they didn't get to play.
Like the Animals. The Animals were fucking way better.
Eric Burdon's a fucking... I mean, he's unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
Literally one of the most unbelievable singers of all time.
It's undoubtedly true.
Yeah, he's on another level. But I know what you mean. It's just you get these bands that they got the pub at the time, and now it's ugh, can you just fuck off?
Same could be said about Elvis. He stole the music. He made rock and roll a white thing. Well, if it wasn't going to be him, it was going to be somebody else that made it more popular with white people back then.
Right, but Elvis did it in a way that only Elvis could do it. You know what I mean?
He had the charisma for sure.
You had to be Elvis.
I think he's corny as fuck, but at the time.
But the Beatles, I felt were just really? I'm this is what everybody's wetting their pants over? I literally I'm in a little submarine.
And that's not even when that was at the peak of their popularity.
Yeah, I'm this literally sounds like somebody in a sixth grade band wrote it, and it was just Mom, look at this song I made.
Well, when they initially got super popular, it was over songs like "I Want to Hold Your Hand," and there was controversy over that because it's oh my God, this is inciting illicit behavior between children. It's no, it's like that scene in fucking Dewey Cox.
Yeah.
No, it's just a song about holding hands. But what I'm getting at is it didn't matter if it was a beat. It was going to be some other group if it wasn't them that did it.
Like the Monkees would have done it. Or
well, the Monkees were a reaction to the Beatles.
Right, but like I'm just saying, like, you know what I mean, like somebody like that with that level of talent, who just like it's like Taylor Swift, right? Like Taylor Swift is the chosen one.
Well, she was.
It's not because Taylor Swift is like the most supremely talented person. She's just the chosen one.
Yeah, she's not great at anything that she does.
Nah, I mean, don't get me wrong. She's a great live performer, apparently. Which, you know, is a thing all in its own, but there are plenty of great live performers. You know what I mean? Like, you know, Rage Against the Machine was probably great live, even though they're another band that if I'd never heard them again, I would be fine with it. But
they are amazing live. I can attest to that. But
you know what I mean? Like, but you know what else is fucking awesome live? Like Soulfly is awesome live, and nobody even probably knows who the fuck they are. Like
Max Cavalera, motherfucker.
Yeah, like fucking Pride of Brazil. But like. You know what I mean? Like, there's plenty of people that are great performers, but like they don't get they're not the chosen ones. You know what I mean? Like, there was that period of time where like Lady Gaga was a chosen one. You know, Beyonce, Taylor Swift, like whoever they choose to be popular is popular because they cram it down your throat and they'll like make more music. Do it.
Well, Beyonce definitely still is because of the backing that she has.
Of course.
There's no reason why she won, and I don't care about the Grammys. That's like the most pointless of all the awards, and all of them are pointless to begin with. It's just the industry stroking itself.
Yes, pretty much.
Like, I agree giving credit where credit's due, but it's a shell of its former self. It doesn't mean anything anymore. And the Grammys never really meant anything.
No.
But Beyonce's whole thing was she's the most winning person of any artist. She's won more Grammys than anybody in history. But she didn't get the album of the year. And now she finally did with her country album, which nobody listened to. Beyonce fans didn't listen to it. Country fans certainly didn't listen to it. Jay-Z paid for plays, essentially.
Right. It was kind of like, right. It's kind of like Godzilla -1. Good movie. Was it great?
No, I love that movie because
it was their Academy Award movie. Like,
it won Best Visual Effects, and rightfully so.
Yeah, it did, right. And with the budget they had, I mean, it was impressive. But like, is it my favorite Godzilla movie? Not even close.
Hey, that's totally fair.
In fact, I left the theater like supremely disappointed when I saw it.
I know. You and I have talked about this before. Yeah. We have a bit of contention. I thought it was brilliant because it took it back to where the roots. And now is it? But at the same time, we have the Godzilla Kong movies now at the same time. And that's where we get our fix for that big, goofy kaiju shit, which I also love.
I don't know. Like, Godzilla Kong kind of grew on me a little bit.
Trapper made it for me. Dude, that character is the man.
Which one?
Trapper, the guy with the red Hawaiian shirt on the whole time, basically.
Yeah.
The Australian dude, I believe.
Was that him? I haven't seen it in a while. The one that came out, the one that came out during COVID, right?
No, the most recent one.
Oh, the most recent one.
Godzilla X Kong.
Godzilla X Kong. Oh, right, with the pink Godzilla.
Yes.
Yeah, no, that one I was not a fan. I think I watched that one once, and I was like, all right, Godzilla's sprinting. I can never watch this again. We're good.
Yeah, it became a buddy cop movie with him and Kong, and it was but that's the goofy shit that I also like, because I still like the weird, goofy 1970s.
I know, it's like I shit on that. I shit on that one, but then there's like Godzilla like riding his tail to do like a jump, like a drop kick.
Yeah, that's Godzilla versus.
I'm like, that was shit.
Yeah, it was goofy as fuck back then, but that was because of the marketing.
Yeah,
that's why I like Godzilla -1, because it brought it back to its.
It was a more serious tone.
Yes, and it actually told a good story.
It did tell a good story. It just needed more Godzilla.
Yes, it could have. Absolutely.
Needed more, like the scene where he invades and he like and fucks the city up needed to be like twice as long as it was. And I needed to see like more or it like you cut that one off. And then what pissed me off was like, so you get like the scene where like he invades like I forget the name of the city now, where he comes ashore and the girls on the train and they do the whole train scene, which was awesome.
Yes,
because that was a throwback to '54, and that was great. But like usually like most Godzilla movies follow the same kind of like standard schematic where it's like, okay, weird shit's happening. What the fuck? What's going on? Oh, and then all of a sudden, oh no, it's Godzilla, and he comes in and kind of like fucks shit up a little bit, and they repel him, or he goes away, and they're like, oh no, what are we gonna do when he comes back? And the next like scene is
they learn something about it, and then
they learn something, or they gotta figure out how to fight him, and then and then he comes back and like he really devastates the city, and they're like, oh shit, or like like he'll show up real early, and they're like, oh no, and then he'll show up quick, and then be gone. And then it's like the whole movie's like plotting to get the final battle. And then the final battle is like him just running roughshod through the city and like destroying everything until they finally like hatch their plan or do whatever. But like it lacked to me that middle action sequence to really like showcase, in my opinion, to really showcase like the destructive power of what Godzilla represents.
That's fair because yes, they did linger too much. I mean, I can't say too much because it did lend to the character development of everyone that they introduced as main characters.
The character development and the story, the human story of it, I actually thought was really good.
It was.
It just needed to be a little less that and a little more Godzilla.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I agree with you on that because, yeah, I could have used a little bit more Godzilla in the middle of it.
Right, because like the opening Godzilla scene wasn't truly Godzilla in my eyes. You know what I mean? Like where he's basically a giant T-Rex.
And he still wrecked all those military guys. Like
yeah, he did. I mean, like 20 of them. And like, which was cool. It was a very cool scene. It was very scary. It was very like whoa, neat. And then like the boat scene, I guess, was pretty cool where he blows up the battleship. But like that was like one. I'm like, damn, like. That to me felt like a wasted opportunity. You know what I mean? Like,
I get what you're saying.
And I know they were working with a limited budget, but like that, I felt like could have been like a way cooler scene.
And I think it does come down to the budget there, but they obviously made great use of it because what they did with the budget that they had looked way better than some of the like billion-dollar movies that came out that year as well.
It's true, it did. And like, don't get me wrong, it was good. And I did like that the main character was kind of like an anti-hero. You know, like he's like, it's like the Japanese were like, we will die instead of and fight like we will die. And he's like, fuck that, bro. He's like, I'm not dying. Fuck you.
I got the shit to live for, but that actually is the main contention I have with the movie itself. I think it would have meant more. And spoilers, everybody.
If you haven't seen it by now.
But I think it would have meant more had he actually sacrificed himself at the end. Instead of him surviving. Because it would have meant more, to me at least. Like, no, he did what he didn't do before. Not to say that it's right, but like...
I know what you're saying. But
it felt too much like everything is okay now, warm, cuddly feeling at the end. Especially after it's revealed that the woman somehow lived after being blasted into the alleyway. Like,
right.
Like, his skull is completely liquefied against that building.
Yeah.
Like this. No, didn't survive that.
Just got this ace bandage around my head. I'll be fine.
Yeah, that's what I was like. That's what took me out of it the most was like the very end.
Yeah, it could have been. It could have been a lot. It could have kept up with like the darker tones
and how real and dire everything was. Like
right. Yeah, I feel like it missed like Shin Godzilla had that feeling to it throughout the whole movie, which I really liked. Which Shin is probably like 84. Shin and
Shin. I'm surprised you.
Those are like 1 and 1A for me.
I'm surprised you like Shin as much as you do.
Oh, I love Shin. Shin is so great.
That's a divisive movie. A lot of purists don't. I actually really like it because it is so grounded, and what they
I just like how Japanese it is. Like everything is like so like just Japanesey in the film, in the cinematography, where it's like, you know, like all the tanks like pull up at the same time, and then like all their guns are like all aimed like one after another, like right in perfect succession, like oh cool,
and like anime,
like it's got that exactly the anime feel to it, and I really dug that about Shin, and it was very dark, and it was like very ominous, like you can't stop whatever this thing is, like you just have to kind of
know what it is. It's constantly evolving. It's in pain as it's evolving, like
right. So it's pissed off the whole time,
and now it's apparently gonna explode.
Right. So we're gonna fill it with liquid nitrogen or something. I don't know. Anyway, but
they froze it basically.
I feel like Shin it did come up short in a couple of ways.
It did have a lot to do with like boardroom meetings and like. There's a lot of bureaucracy.
But I love like the scenes where they're like setting up the boardroom meetings, and like you're coming into it and you're like, okay, here's the, and they're showing like the meeting room. And it's like this giant table with like 50 microphones on each side, but they show you like a low shot of all the microphones, so you just see the whole line of them.
Oh yeah, it's shot very well. It's just there's a lot of those scenes, and it could have been cut back.
Yeah. But the destruction scene when Godzilla goes off in that movie is still probably my favorite. When he's got the beams coming out of his spines and
it's incredible.
The laser, like the atomic breath in that one was just fucking awesome.
All of the designs of the various mutations of Godzilla in that movie are fantastic. They look.
Oh my god! I love the goofy, googly eye, fucking looking worm thing. Like I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah. It's so fucking weird.
But like you said it perfectly. It had very anime feel to it, which I really dug. I really dug that.
In ways, at least in the action scenes, it felt like you're watching like a Gundam show or something like that.
Right.
And then it goes to the boardroom, and it's like very serious and stuffy, and it's like, all right, well, and they're talking about very serious things, like what. Well, what's the effect? Godzilla's
we're going to shut down the city. What do you mean you want to shut down the economy? It's the feast weekend.
Yeah. You crazy? It's the biggest Madera feast in the world.
It's like you're right. Cliche, dissenting Republican.
Exactly, but yeah.
But they won't see an economy the day after tomorrow.
Oh, McGonagall just chimed in. He said, Joey sounds like Godzilla, and the best Godzilla was with Raymond Goddamn Burr in 1956.
Listen, 56 was the original is definitely...
Yeah.
That's I mean... And yes, I am losing my voice. I did a lot of yelling over the week at work. Pretty funny. Can't tell that story on the air, but trust me, it was good. So my voice sounds raspy and fucked up. That's why. Still recovering from that. But no, 56 was the best. The original. I mean, the original in 1984. I think 1984 was probably my favorite. Then it's Shin, then 56.
84 is great. I love how the sculpture of Godzilla there. They gave him the bigger fangs.
Was that 80? No, that was Godzilla versus Gigan. When they
84 is when that was the American Japanese version. It was kind of like they did 54 again.
Shit, I had the Japanese version and the American version. I can't remember which one was which.
Yes, yeah, there.
Don't ask me how I acquired both of them, but through the miracles of eBay, I was able to find a bootleg copy of one.
You're right, because unlike Godzilla versus King Kong, there is two versions of 84.
Yes, there is. Because one of them was just Godzilla. Because one of them was called the American version is called Godzilla 1985, I believe, or 84, and the other one is called, I think it's called Godzilla Returns.
In the Japanese version, I think that was the Japanese release.
Yeah, the Japanese version did not have a year in it. I know that in the title. I mean, but that one also had Raymond Burr in it. They brought Raymond Burr back.
Yes, they got him back.
An old Raymond Burr, which was
to reprise his role in that. And yeah, the Raymond Burr in the first one was, of course, just added footage that they filmed on top of the for the Japanese release to
provide context to the American
audience. And it was
the American audience was like, what the fuck?
Well, and also, who better at the time than William Burr? Maybe Gregory Peck.
Right.
Imagine that, Atticus.
Raymond Burr was pretty dope for that part, actually. It fit really well.
Yeah, and he handled it perfectly. Like, he seemed like a legit reporter back then, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And I love how they tried to recreate that a little bit in -1. You know what I mean? When they're on top of the building.
And then it gets destroyed.
It gets destroyed, which is pretty fucking rad.
Well, yeah,
there was a lot of callbacks. -1, I think, is better than I give it credit for, and I think I said that. I think I was like, don't let my opinion of it ruin it for you, because my expectations were so probably ridiculously high for that movie. It was unfair. And
mine were kind of in the middle.
I think a lot of people went into it with like tempered expectations. I was like, nah, man, this is Toho. Like, this is the shit. Like, they're doing this right. They're gonna nail it. And they were like so close. And I guess like I shouldn't let perfect be the enemy of good. But when it comes to like a modern day Godzilla movie, especially after like Godzilla 2014, King of the Monsters, Godzilla versus Kong, which was just a fucking joke. Like at least Godzilla King of the Monsters, the way they portrayed Ghidorah in that was fucking amazing. Like his whole awakening scene and meeting Godzilla in Antarctica was like probably still one of my favorite fucking scenes of all time. So
it was really well done.
And then the way they portrayed Rodan and everything else was awesome. So I get like those were good. Godzilla versus Kong is when it got silly to me, because you're like goddamn, like how you gonna bring fucking Mecha Godzilla into this? And we gotta deal with like we need Kong to bail us out. Like I know Godzilla never defeated Mecha Godzilla by himself in any of the old Toho movies, whether it was from the Heisei of the Showa era, but he had like Jet Jaguar and fucking King Caesar and fucking Anguirus. Like there was plenty of other there was always like a tag team. You know what I mean? Because Mecha Godzilla was that strong, but Godzilla always found a way to beat him. Like in the original one, he like turns himself into a fucking a fully functioning giant magnet. So
Godzilla has do that.
Yeah, because he's just like. And I'm a magnet now. And it's like, all right, pretty cool.
And then the only explanation of it is little Japanese people off to the side going, "Oh, Godzilla can now do that.
Yeah,
He's now electromagnetic.
Oh, he turned himself into a magnet. Whoa!" And you're like, all right, well, hey, there's a giant fucking monkey lion. Man, it's like man, bear, lion, pig thing over here, fucking running around. Like I don't know, whatever. It makes sense. Like, sure, he's a magnet now.
It's another action figure we can sell to the kids. So
yeah, exactly. Bandai actually just released some pretty new Godzilla figurines. I was like, might need to buy one of those, but neither here nor there. But anyway, I don't know how we got off on a 20-minute tangent about Godzilla movies, but sorry.
I know, because we both have quite a fond admiration for the character. That's how.
I am looking forward to whatever the -1 sequel is going to be. I think it's next year, 2026. Is due to come out.
I think you're right, and you know what? If it's the same team behind it, I'm looking forward to it.
It is same director, same everybody, same studio. They just it's basically just got a bigger budget now. So
well, I'm looking forward to see what they do with it. Like.
I hope
it's good Godzilla content. I'm here for it.
Same. I need good Godzilla content. Like 2014 was awesome. I watched that one the other night. Really loved 2014.
I did, even though that one has like barely any of them in it. But the way it was shot, and
in a way though, that was kind of dope because
I liked it at the time. In comparison, though, now with all the him sprinting with Kong. And Kong has a mechanized arm. Now we're at like Avengers level of God.
What are we doing in this scene? Oh, we're giving Kong a root canal. I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, they're playing Operation together. Like, what's going on? Yes, I do like it because of how that one was also grounded fairly well. Like, it was definitely taken pretty damn seriously. It just sucks that they killed off Bryan Cranston so early, because as much of a fucking psychotic he is, he's still a great actor.
His character in that was like projecting to be pretty awesome too.
Well, the trailers were famously labeled as misleading for that movie because they prominently showed him, and yeah, they did, but he's only in the movie for like the first 30 minutes.
It was like they showed Channing Tatum in the G.I. Joe trailers to get all the fucking wives and girlfriends on board with their boyfriends and husbands to go watch it, and then they kill them in the first 30 seconds.
Yeah, wasn't he Duke?
Yeah.
You're the main guy.
And they kill him in the first the opening scene, they kill him. Like, my wife was like, what the fuck?
She's like, we're leaving now, and you're like, what do you mean?
No, we went to see that. I remember we went to see it Easter Sunday, which was her birthday that year. March 31st.
Easter Sunday, Jesus Christ.
And we left her grandparents' house, and like 5, 6, 7, 8 of us went to the theater to watch it. And she was so fucking bullshit. She's just like, I'm taking a nap. Bye. It just fell asleep in the seat next to us. It was fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
I was like, sorry, babe. I really didn't know he died the first 30 seconds. She's like, because I don't know if I ever told you this story, but like I kind of not tricked my wife into going to see Transformers when the original one came out in 07. But like my wife is not a sci-fi fan at all. She doesn't really like war movies. Like
oh yeah.
Yeah, she's pretty. Yeah. She's like. I was like, what's Transformers? And I'm like, it's a mood. Just go into it with an open mind. She goes, all right, fine. As long as it's not about something stupid like fucking robots from outer space, I'll be fine. And I'm like, ooh. And she's like, are you fucking kidding me?
How did you know
about
this thing that's existed just about as long as you have?
She had no idea. She had never seen or heard of a Transformer in her life.
Oh yeah, she's a lady, so
yeah.
Oh, Jim chimed in saying, I love how this podcast is called The Adult Table, and you guys are discussing the many iterations of Godzilla films. Laugh out loud.
Godzilla films are very adult, okay?
Well, Jim, this is called a free-form conversation.
Yeah. I mean, we were going to talk about how AOC is going to be brought up on federal crimes and how the WNBA is going to strike and all that, but then we got sidetracked by fun stuff. So
I mean, we can bring that shit up real quick if we want to do a roundup.
Yeah, you want to do a quick rapid fire? Because so you want to start with the AOC thing? Because I think you were more hip to this than I was. I'd heard rumblings about it, but you obviously had looked into it a little bit more.
Yeah, let me look up a quick thing here. Yes, apparently AOC is being accused of hiring a legal citizen for her staff. And I will now bring this up on here. Yeah, so an illegal immigrant who once served as an aide to Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
Which and just for the record, AOC is like probably like she's in my top 5 of politicians. I would totally would.
I would for me, but I wouldn't out of fear that the retardation that is within her is somehow contagious.
Listen, I'm not saying I'm reproducing with her. I'm just saying would.
Oh, I'd slap her titties around for sure.
Oh, but, fuck.
So this illegal... Oh, Jesus Christ.
There we go.
There we go. So, apparently, yes, he's been reportedly, quote-unquote, self-deported to Colombia, praising the, quote-unquote, freedom movement.
Self-deported is going to be my new favorite.
Self-deported, isn't that... You just left.
Yeah, but I think that's called skipping town.
Yeah, getting the fuck out of Dodge.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna self-deport myself tomorrow.
Self-deportation. That's
Don't worry, Tom Holman, I got it from you.
That's like saying self-ending for, the other word that we can't say apparently. But so yeah, he was praising the quote-unquote freedom of movement in the South American nation after working in Congress despite being in the country illegally. Diego de la Vega was born in Ecuador and emigrated to the United States as a 7-year-old in 2001 on his visitor's visa that he overstayed. Migrant Insider
Which
reported.
that happens all the time. People overstay their visas all the time. But
Yes, and that's
and you know, usually, like, if you're
That's
not a
not uncommon.
shitbag, people pretty much look the other way, you know. But also, I don't know how you can end up with a job in the federal government or working for somebody who works for the federal government if you're as an illegal alien over on an overstayed visa. Like, you feel like I feel like my background check for my job was more thorough than what we're doing with a lot of these people.
Yeah.
And I don't really work that serious. I mean, I do. It's a serious job on the outside to people who don't do it, but to us, it's like it's a fucking joke. Like,
Yeah,
really?
Exactly. And so I'm skipping ahead in the article here because most of this goes over his arrest, and I don't care about that. I want to know about how this happened. So, apparently, after working for an immigrants' right group, he served as communications director for Robert Rodriguez, then a member of the New York State Assembly, who currently serves as president and CEO of the New York State Dormitory Authority, according to his LinkedIn page, which take that however you want.
Right.
In 2021, De La Vega was hired by Ocasio-Cortez's re-election campaign and eventually became her deputy communications director. So here's the other thing. He wasn't just like a little clerk for her.
Right.
In getting her coffees. He was the director of her
probably has some pretty intimate knowledge.
Director.
You know,
Whatever the fuck that means.
Probably knew a thing or two about knowing a thing or two.
Yeah. She said he's amazing. We love him. He worked for her despite not being a U.S. citizen. DACA recipients are barred
Probably
from paid
shouldn't have said that part
positions.
out loud, but
here's where it gets sticky for her. DACA recipients are barred from paid positions in congressional offices. They say, we were always honest with the voters in New York City, he said, of working with Ocasio-Cortez. We didn't dumb it down or tell them what they wanted to hear. We engaged them with honesty. We listened, then explained that Alexandria was fighting for reform, but Republicans were blocking it. That doesn't say anything about why he got locked up. They weren't being honest. I mean,
clearly, if they were, we wouldn't be having this conversation. I can promise you that. I'm just waiting impatiently for the day the AOC sex tape drops. Like, I need that in my life. Between that, like, either like if her and Lauren Boebert's sex tapes leak tomorrow, I'd be like, Chutch. It's gonna be a good weekend. Don't bother me. Don't call. Phone's off.
Unfortunately, it's just her giving rough hand jobs in like a theater scenario.
Hey, listen, man. The fact that Bobo was giving over the pants handies in a theater while ripping a vape and telling people to fuck off.
You know what?
Kind of dig it, bro. Not gonna lie. Sounds like my kind of party.
You know what? That's pretty cash money of her.
Yeah, I mean, she could be my bottom bitch.
Do you know what I am saying?
Yes, I think I know what you are saying.
Fucking A.
Oh, man.
So, yeah, that's the AOC stuff. Like, apparently she's going to be in some potential trouble due to having a legally hired immigrant.
Well, I mean, let's see. Like, we hear this all the time,
in a government
right?
position, staff position.
But we know how, and we know how this works, right? Like, oh, a politician did something wrong. Oh boy, like, yeah, that's against the law. Oh, you can't do that. And there'll be like 72 billion different ways where like they, plausible deniability and they deny, whatever.
Yep.
And nothing ever happens, right? Like, we all know how this goes. Like, politicians break the law 42 times a day for various different reasons. And typically nothing ever really fucking happens to them. Like, they never go to jail.
No.
Even when they are found guilty or caught, they're just like, all right, well, you're going to have to step down from that committee we appointed you to, okay? It's like, do you mean I can't continue to deal rocks to the community? It's like, absolutely not. Shut up.
Yeah,
maybe later, but shut up.
It's exactly that Chappelle Show sketch.
Yeah, and so, like, You know what I mean? Like it's like we all know how this shit goes. The only difference, the only hope that I have is that we've uncovered a different type of we've overturned a new leaf, if you will, in government, and these types of things are going to be prosecuted and brought to light and potentially prosecuted. So maybe there's hope. I'm still kind of on the fence about it. Like, you know,
Yeah.
I'm not holding my breath with this Epstein list shit anymore. You know,
because everything that was released, almost
We
all
already
of
knew.
the important information was redacted. And I got into a conversation with another friend of mine about this. He's like, "Isn't it funny how classified information is only classified to a certain degree? Like,
Yeah,
once it's
depending
it could be declassified, but all this other shit is still redacted.
right.
Like, you still don't have access to this."
Yeah. No, it's well because it's declassified, but we can't show it to you because it would be very damaging to our image. There's some serious fucking shit in there about people we really don't want to be outed. So no, fuck you. So yeah, I'm losing a little bit of hope in that regard, but we'll see.
We're not that far into this, man. Like,
I know we're only 6 weeks in. It's really only been 6
that's
weeks.
why on the same side of the other coin, you got everybody on the left saying prices and nothing has gone down yet. It's only been 6-7 weeks.
It's right. It's been a month and a half. Like let's get to.
You can't fix 4 years of
mark.
absolute and utter failure in less than a month.
We're 10 days away from the 2-month mark. Like let's calm down a little bit. You know,
let him cook.
Let him cook. But yeah, I don't know. It's just, listen. I just want to see AOC's titties and a sex tape.
I bet her nipples are like.
Oh, gotta be.
Like bigger than silver dollar. Like.
Mm.
Like, you ever see the Cardi B? She's
Like,
got some like pancake looking areolas, probably like that.
Yeah, Cardi B is that's a different species.
Oh, she's terrible.
Yeah, that's almost like I'm like, all right, like don't get me wrong, I'm a fan of big nips, but no, that's too big. Yeah, I got to draw a line somewhere. Yeah,
I'm a man of reason.
Yeah, every once in a while, like I'd see a stripper get on stage at the Foxy, and I'd be like, "Oh shit!" And then they'd take the bra. I'm like, "Nope."
I'm gonna go sit at the bar here.
You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna sit this one out, guys. I'll see you in a few minutes. I'll be over. I'll be over hitting on the bartender, who I know is definitely not going home with anybody, but or any of us.
It beats she's looking at this right now.
Yeah, but exactly.
And spending money on it.
Yeah, I'm gonna save these last $10 bills or $1 bills that I have, and just go charge my debit card for a nice overpriced gin and tonic, which I always got gin and tonics at strip clubs because all the black lights made it light up blue, and I just thought it was cool.
And G&T is a good drink. I typically only have those in the summer, but yeah.
Oh, I love gin and tonics. They're fucking phenomenal. But the tonic, there's so much sugar in the tonic water, it just fucks me up, like my head the next day. So I can only have a couple of them. But when I was going to the shake joint all the time, and by all the time, I mean like we would go every year for like 2 or 3 of my friends' birthday parties, maybe, and like bachelor parties were because we were all still getting married at the time, and or we would go to the Foxy on the bridge on football Sundays because the pool tables were open. It was free pool. So we're like,
yeah, because why not, right?
All right, well, 8:00 game's over. What do you guys want to do? Like, petting zoo? Petting zoo. All right, let's do it. And we would head over to the bridge and go feed the animals at the petting zoo, and gin and tonics were my thing. Because I was like, look, guys, it glows blue. How cool is that? Like, because the quinine lights up under the light. And I was like, it's neat. And I always paid for it every Monday morning, but neither here nor there.
Oh, gin and tonics would always hit me hard, and I would think it was because gin usually hits me harder than most other liquors. Gin hangover is a different beast.
It's the same animal, but a different beast.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
Gin is just vodka with juniper and other like botanical shit in it.
Yes, but my mom swears up and down that
there are better gins, obviously.
Oh, I mean, I'm a Hendrix guy through and through. I don't know about you, but
Hendrix is good. Yeah,
it's either Hendrix or Sapphire.
They're interchangeable to me. But yeah. I could go with either.
But my mom swears up and down that my grandfather would turn into a totally different person when he drank gin. When she was younger, She's like, if Papa drank gin, it's like guaranteed fight at the dinner table. Like,
I can see that it's a different, and a bunch of different things affect people differently. I know people that are like the most mellow on whiskey. I know others that will break a bottle off a goddamn table and try to stab you with it if they had too much whiskey.
Yeah, whiskey's kind of crazy like that, right?
And then the same goes with tequila. I know people on this opposite sides of the spectrum of that.
That's me. Tequila for me is one of those. It's tequila. Yeah, I don't know. It's tough. Tequila can be tough for me.
Rum is the one that's tough for me.
Rum.
Yeah, and I don't even really like it. The only time I really drink rum is like in a Mai Tai.
Correct.
Because I drank it too much, like mixed otherwise, like rum and coke, or straight back in college, and it ruined it for me back then.
Rum and coke, like I was drinking Captain and Cokes the other day because it was like, I was like, I don't feel like beer, but it's too early for me to start on vodka. So let me bridge the gap with Captain and Cokes.
Rum, Captain and Coke's the bridge. You know what? It is a bridge.
At least in my head, it's like Guinness, rum, and Coke. Like they're interchangeable. So I'm at a fucking 1-year-old's birthday party, and I'm like, nah, too early for vodka. I'll have a rum and Coke. I put down like 5 or 6 of those, and I'm like, oh, I was like, I better slow down here, or I'm going to be in deep trouble driving home. Like, this is, I forgot I'm not drinking Guinness, like, which it just goes down like water. I mean, I can drink a 12-pack of Guinness in 40 minutes and be like, what happened? I don't feel anything. But rum and Cokes, they're like a perfect Saturday afternoon drink for me. I don't know why. Like, they
just go down easy.
Yeah, they go down easy, kind of sweet, taste pretty good, get your buzzing cousin, but they can also lead you to a place you don't want to go. So you got to be careful. Like, and I forgot about that part for a few minutes. Yeah. And then like the next day too, like you drink too many of those, you're like, oh my god, why is my fucking head killing me? Like, oh right, you drank a 2-liter bottle of fucking Coca-Cola yesterday.
Yeah, all that goddamn, you had more sugar.
Yeah.
In one day than you should have had in like a month.
Yeah, you took 60 days worth of sugar intake in 4 hours.
You stupid asshole. No wonder you feel like shit.
Like, do you not like your feet? Like you trying to chop them off? Fucking idiot. Oh man. But
I think that was like the double stuff Oreo slogan, wasn't it? Like fuck feet.
Makes sense. That shit adds up.
You really want to keep spending money on shoes and shit? Nah,
fuck it. Come on, man. Like shoes are expensive, bro. Fuck your feet. Who needs them?
Just buy some nice socks for your stumps. You'll be fine.
Yeah, get some nice nubs down there. You get to cut right to the front of the line at Disney World. What else do you need, man?
Yeah, unless you're too fat and you can't also get on the ride because of that.
That's true too. I'm not too fat to get on the ride, but I'm almost too big to get on a lot of them.
I can see, like height and weight wise.
When I did the Superman coaster at Six Flags one time.
Oh, that one's fucked too because it's just a lap bar.
Yeah, and I had to like kind of sit up and put all my weight down on it just to get it to click in. Like the guy comes over, he's like, "All right, everybody good?" I'm like, "No, mine's not clicked in." He's like, "All right, and you're off." I'm like, "Bro, I just said no."
Too late. You're going up the hill.
I was like, "Well, I'm gonna be a fucking fatality on the Superman ride. Like that sucks."
People have died on it. Yeah.
Yeah, they have. And I was like, well, this is going to be cool. And then I just we're literally going up the fucking thing, and I finally got it to click in one click.
You're like, what? One's good. I heard it. Do it once. That's good enough for me. God damn it.
I was like, well, let's pray to God that shit holds.
At least I'll leave a beautiful corpse.
Yeah. Or what's left of it after I go sailing into the back of a Carney's fucking booth at 70 miles an hour face first. I'll show you, motherfuckers.
There's at least stupid ways you could go, I would think.
I mean, you would think, but then again, you're like, I'm putting my life in the hands of a bunch of fucking minimum wage employees who couldn't give 2 fucks if I live or die right now. They're just trying to get to the end of their shift.
Yeah, they're pretty much all teenagers or early to mid-20 people.
Probably all stoned out of their fucking mind anyway.
No respectable person like 30 or over is like working a ride at Six Flags or fucking.
No. And if there's anybody over 30, you're like, ooh, that guy made some poor choices.
How are you not the manager of Buzz Lightyear's Rocket Crotch Diner? Or
yeah,
whatever
no shit.
it's called? Like, you're not working your way up, motherfucker. You're still dressed up like fucking.
He's like, I got sick of my assistant manager job at Spencer's in the mall. Fuck this place.
Yeah.
I'm moving on up. I'm going to Six Flags. I'm gonna run the Superman ride.
I'm gonna show all you motherfuckers.
Someday they're gonna name this place after me.
I'm gonna let a bunch of people on when the shit doesn't even click once.
Yeah. Not to keep picking on Spencer. The second time I picked on him in the show. Whatever. Fuck it. The shoe fits, motherfucker.
Well, they suck now. They're not like they used to be.
No, I know. They used to be fun. Now they're just lame.
How's it feel to see everything that you once loved, turn to garbage, Joey?
I know. It's like, God damn it. It's like I should have died in 2007.
Somebody asked me that, or a similar question, and I just said, it feels great.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it does. I mean, that's like my one of my biggest reasons for like not wanting to die an early death is like, no, like I still have so much more to see. Like, I want to see if the WNBA goes on strike and eventually just folds up and goes out of business altogether. Like that would be great.
Yeah, we can talk about that next week for sure.
Yeah,
I mean, that's always an ongoing thing. But yeah, they're only afloat because the NBA keeps them.
I just find it wicked funny that like Angel Reese and like Dejanay Carrington or whatever are they're like
literally who?
Yeah, exactly. Angel Reese has a McDonald's commercial now, though. She got that going for her. With her eyes that like look like this. Like,
I haven't seen it, but I have been subjected to the audio ad of that and podcasts that I listen to.
No, it's out there. But they're like, they're talking about like, if we don't get paid more, we're gonna go on strike, and I'm like, okay. Like literally no one's gonna miss you. No one.
Right.
I mean, nobody. Even the people that are fucking like working for you are gonna be like, oh, thank God they finally forced my hand. I gotta get a new job. I'm gonna go run the Superman ride at Six Flags.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not like Jack Nicholson is showing up to LA Sparks games and buying everybody that he knows tickets.
No,
nobody's showing up for that.
Not even a little bit. But yeah, we can talk about that next week.
Hell yeah. Well, I think we had a good run tonight. How about
that? That was fun. Yeah, we covered a lot of random shit tonight.
Yeah, I think that's good every once in a while because we had some things that we wanted to talk about. I think we brought up at least the important ones. And yeah, I just appreciate the...
What are you talking about? What's more important than early 2000s divorced dad rock and Godzilla? Like, let's be honest.
Certainly not anything to do with Jim McGonigal's coaching or teaching skills. But
burn.
Suck it, Jim. But I think it was great. And if people don't like it, they don't have to watch.
I gotta find out where Jim drinks these days. I gotta buy him a beer. He's such a good sport.
Is he?
He really is.
You know what? If I do see him out in the wild, I will gladly buy him whatever he's drinking.
He hasn't blocked or unfriended us through all this.
Well, I'm not currently. I've never been friends with him on anything.
But he's never like blocked, unfriended, or muted me as far as I know. So
right,
I kind of got to give him fucking credit. Like, all right, man. Like, bet like you're a real one. I don't agree with damn near anything you say, but you're a real one.
He did say gin is evil, and now he just said, "Oh, I don't know if you just said that."
So. Yeah, gin can be evil. I mean, my mom says so, and I trust my mom. And my grandfather was a great guy, but also Irish. So,
Yeah. I get it.
Things can go awry.
Well, he was probably more into whiskey.
My grandfather was a big. What did he drink? What was he? I think he was like a J&B guy. Scotch.
Yeah.
Whiskey. Yeah. J&B. That's what I remember drinking as a kid anyway.
That's classic.
Yeah. But anyway.
But you digest.
Yeah, but I digest.
All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. And
Appreciate y'all. We'll see you next week. We'll have more fun next week, I promise.
yeah, Jim, welcome back, you fucking cock. All right, later, Joe.
All right, bud. See you next week.
Peace.